Hello. Welcome to the Opportunity Academy at Kennedy. We are delighted to be with you today. On my left, I have my middle school counselor, Mr. Levi Forte. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And on my right, I have my high school counselor, Ms. Rosalind Murray. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We are here today to present the criteria for coming to our alternative program. Uh, First of all, the hearing officer will do a report and you will be assigned to our program. After the hearing officer report, it is very important that we do a withdrawal form from your regular school. Also, we will need a report card, a copy of your Social Security card, your blue immunization form, your birth certificate, and if it applies, we will need a current IEP accommodation. Also, if you are in the middle school, we will need your test scores from the Alabama High School.
ARP,
From
Alabama
ARP,
Reading and Math.
Alabama Reading and Math
Yes, ma'am.
test scores.
Yes, ma'am.
And from the high school, we will need your exit scores, Alabama High School graduation exam. Because we also do our own testing
Right.
at the alternative setting. It is important that we receive a schedule from each school, a transcript with all the grades is very important. And parent, this video will be required for you to watch so that you will know what is expected of you at the program. Today, I'm going to have Mr. Forte discuss the dress code. Then, Ms. Murray, if you would please help me let the parents know their responsibility here at our program.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
Mr. Forte, would you please discuss our dress code?
Yes, ma'am. First of all, the dress code for Kennedy is going to be altered from the regular school dress code because this is an alternative program. All students will wear a white polo shirt with a collar, a white T-shirt with no writing, no logos, and it must be worn under the uniform shirt. Belts, I say again, belts must be visible at all times. No rubber bands on the legs. In other words, you cannot blouse your pants. Pants will be worn on the waist with the shirt tucked in at all times. In other words, when you're walking down the hallway, we must be able to see your belt. Middle school students must wear black pants only. High school students will wear khaki pants only.
And we do this, Mr. Forte, so that we can tell the difference in the students from the middle grade students to the high school students.
Yes, ma'am. Because we have, at our school, we have 2 floors, and our high school is on the 2nd floor, and our middle school is on the 1st floor, which means if we see black pants on the 2nd floor, something is not quite right.
Right.
That's a safety reason, too.
Okay.
We wear no jewelry, no acrylic nails or nail attachment, no nail polish. In other words, when you come to Kennedy, you must be a plain Jane
Okay.
because those privileges are taken away from you.
But really, Mr. Forte, it's for a safety reason.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we know that the students are there because they didn't comply with some of the rules.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, since we know that there may be opportunities for them to do other things, we try to do preventive measures for them.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. No skirts or no shorts, no capris. Okay. Caps, coats, jackets will not be worn inside of the building.
But of course, they can wear them.
They can wear them. Yes, ma'am. They can wear them. But we have hangers and racks in the hallway in a secure place for them to hang their coats and jackets. No cell phones. Change that. Cell phones must be turned off at
Right.
all times. They must not be visible. We must not be able to see the cell phones. You cannot be using the cell phones in the school or taking pictures, doing all the other things that this electronic equipment will allow you to do.
So what we're saying that if you have a cell phone, it cannot be activated at any time.
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what we're saying. That's what we're saying, okay? If you have any questions about the dress code, feel free to call Ms. Murray, Ms. Burrell, or myself at the school. That number is 231-8740.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Forte.
Yes, ma'am.
And the dress code will be strictly enforced.
Yes, ma'am.
And parents, if they come to school and they're not in uniform, then you're going to have to take them back home. And if you don't take them back home, they're going to have to make up that day because they're scheduled to do 45 days in the alternative school.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the minimum amount. It can vary during that time, but we will discuss that more, Ms. Murray, with the parents' responsibilities.
Hi. Your parent responsibilities fall on you, the parents or the guardians. We would like for you to have your child at school before 8 o'clock a.m. Sometimes you can get them there by 7:30, but no earlier than 7:30. Please talk to your child about respecting adults and people in authority. Explain to your children that there is no talking in the lunchroom and in the hallways. Make sure that before your child arrives at school that he or she is properly dressed from head to toe.
And Ms. Murray, one thing about arriving to school, the reason they can't come before 7:30 because we don't have the staff in place for them, and they cannot be there unsupervised.
Yes, ma'am. Well, make sure that we have the proper contact information for you and your children because it's vital, important in the case of emergency, and especially during testing. We have to be able to contact parents and students at all times. You must attend all school meetings,
Right.
and we will give that to you in advance so that you will know. The principal must approve the release of any student at TOC.
Okay, let's clear that up. Once again, you're usually assigned 45 days. If you're not in Kennedy, inside the school, your body, then you're not considered there. If you check out early, all that, you have to make those days up.
That's right.
You must physically be there the entire instructional day in order to get credit.
So this means that the hearing officer does not determine the number of days a student will serve after enrollment. As our principal, Ms. Burrell, said, that once a child is enrolled, that there could be some infractions and those students will still have to make those 45 days up along with the time for those infractions that they make.
And if students are not complying with us, we have no other alternative but expulsion, and we want to prevent that if we can. But Kennedy is the last alternative to expulsion,
Right.
which means that you will not be allowed in the district. So we're asking parents to please work closely with us to prevent this measure because we do want all children to be successful.
Yes, ma'am.
Parents' attendance is very important. Make sure that your children are punctual. And remember, all parents must sign in the office before services can be rendered. Please do just not come into the school and just find myself or Mr. Forte. You must sign in the office first. School closes promptly at 3 o'clock p.m. Please pick students up on time.
Okay. Ms. Murray, also we need to note that if students are not picked up, we have no one there to service them. So we take them to the precinct.
East Precinct.
East
And if
Precinct.
parents have a problem with us taking them down there with permission, what we do, because we don't want to leave them in that unsafe environment, I will call the Birmingham police, and the Birmingham police will pick them up and take them to the precinct. This is nothing bad. I think the children are safer at the precinct than they are on First Avenue North standing around up there.
Right, so parents, please make every effort to pick your child up on time so that we will not have this problem.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Students will not be granted an early dismissal because it causes problems for attendance. So if there are any questions, I would like for you to feel free to call the counselors, Mr. Forte or myself, Ms. Murray, at 231-8746 about any concerns that you may have. And make sure that your child meets dress code every day. And last, each student is required to pay $20 for materials such as paper, pens, pencils, and other school supplies. So please be prepared to pay on time of registration.
And we do this because we get no funding for our school. Students do not bring anything but themselves to our school. This is another safety precaution. Once they come, they only can come in uniform. Everything else, books, paper, as you stated, will be supplied. One other thing, students cannot drive to our school because it is an alternative school, so they cannot drive. The parents are responsible for getting them there and picking them up.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, if they're riding in the city bus, that has nothing to do with us. We do not provide that. that is provided by the city. So if you have a problem, you need to call transportation,
Right.
city transportation, and not us. But they can identify students by their uniform, and if they're not in uniform, they cannot ride the bus.
Right.
Parents, please help us to continue your child's education, and by helping us with these concerns that we just discussed. And as you already heard, we are there to serve you. And if you have any question about anything that we've discussed or didn't discuss, please call the school, 231-8740. Thank you.